It's my birthday. Today is the 7th of May and I'm turning an year older. If you'd like to know how old I'm turning, please stay tuned till the end of this video to find out. So, as I turn an year older, I have had a bunch of lessons and I have had a bunch of things to be grateful for. I just want to share with you on this special day, some of the things that I've learned along the way. I have had people ask me, and I know I have done this before, like, what have I learned from the broken relationship? What have I learned about the year? But I just want to teach you about the things that I have learned in the previous 32 years. Yes, I guess you can now guess how old I'm turning, though I will confirm to you by the end of this. Just start guessing there and comment down below how old you think I'm turning. But these are the lessons that I've learned from the past 32 years. And the first one, which is the biggest one of all, the one that I keep talking about every single time, is relationships. Can you believe that it took me, almost 30 years to learn how a healthy relationship should look like? Why? Because, and I keep saying this, the idea of the relationships that we have are the things that we learned from other sources. Not so many of us have an idea of even how a relationship should look like. Even think about it yourself right now where you're seated. How do you know the kind of relationship you're in is the right one or the wrong one? Most of the time, it will either be from people around you, either your peers, your friends, or most of all, we learn this through our caregivers, who are mostly our parents. So for me, it will take me 30 years to realize how a relationship should even look like. And this for me was a huge lesson, and it was a game changer to me. Because some 2 years back, let me just take you on TBT, early TBT kind of thing, to where it all started. My journey for me of landing to where I am today, where I help women who are in toxic relationship. And if you know that you're struggling to get through one, or just trying to understand the kind of relationship that you're in, please feel free to comment down below or connect with me on my other social media platforms, Facebook, TikTok, or IG. Just reach out to me, DM me, tell me the kind of dynamic you're in, and probably I could help you with that. So before I go to that space, it was 2 years back where I found myself, it was this day short. I was, I think, 2 days short of my birthday. Yeah, because it was on 5th May where I made the step to leave a toxic relationship that I was in. It will start a whole roller coaster of events and emotions to me getting to this point. This is why it's not just a birthday for me, it is also a day to commemorate the journey that I've been through, and not just for me, but also for the other women that I've held their hands through. So this was a really huge one. Relationships, and it's not just intimate relationships. It has also been in the whole idea of how should the healthy people look like, even friends, platonic, even family. How are healthy people in our family? Because that is something that not many of us are taught about or even want to talk about. They're toxic family members, and sometimes they're our moms, our dads. So it has been a whole revelation for me up to this point. Yeah. Another thing has been peace of mind. Peace of mind to me, that is the realization, the whole realization that peace of mind is something that you can actually go to all lengths to find. We have heard of people who travel from their homes in search of money and wealth and other possessions, but not many people tell us about the task of looking for peace. That for me has been huge, because I came to realize that you can be living in a mansion, sleeping in a very wonderful bed, but not get any sleep. You can be dining in a 5-star hotel, but not actually be able to eat. You can be eating the fries, the ice creams, and not actually gain weight. Why is that? Because of lack of one small thing. That's peace of mind. And in my journey for in search of this peace of mind, I've been able to come across things like self-rediscovery, where I've come to learn that I really enjoy myself. I really enjoy dating myself, being able to learn who I am, and that has had huge benefits in my life. I've been able to attract very wonderful friends, very wonderful people in my life that I know I would not, the old me would never be able to get this sort of people in my life. So that has really been huge. And in that, in connection to that, comes my third point, which is my journey to self-discovery. Yes, this is something that I would say not many people ever get to do in life. Just learn who are you, because so many of us are defined by outside sources, either by our friends, sometimes by our toxic exes, sometimes by toxic even bosses who tell you that you can never do this, even toxic teachers, because I have people who still remember what their teacher told them, that when they were younger, that teacher used to tell them that they are very silly or stupid, and that defines them and shapes their lives all throughout, even when they're grown-ups. So who are you outside of all the noise of what people say? Who are you? And this is something that leads to knowing your worth, self-worth. There's a difference between self-worth and value. People can value you simply because you drive a good car, you live in a good home, you have an education. But does that even affect your self-worth? It should not. You who is living in a mansion and somebody else living in a house made of maybe a bati is iron sheet, should not determine anybody's value, because you're all of value. But people have learned to define people through their worth, through their value, which is not your worth. Actually, it's learning your worth, and you can only learn this through taking the self awareness journey, where you learn, I can cope with this, I cannot cope with this. I can handle this, I cannot handle this. Where do you draw the line? Where do you say enough is enough? I cannot handle this, or I will not do this, or you cannot do this to me. That for me has really been a great journey for me. And I can say it's a journey, meaning that I've not gotten to the destination. Do I even think there is a destination? You just keep learning yourself more and more, because you keep evolving. You keep evolving. Who I was in my 20s is not me who I am in my 30s. Who I was when I was 32 is totally different from who I am in the age that I'm in right now. I remember that I'm not saying the number until the very end of this. And that comes to the fourth point, which is I have evolved. Yes, I am evolving. I'm becoming a better version of myself. I know there's this cliche saying where people say, I am better than the woman. I love the woman I am becoming. Yes, it is very true. I love the woman that I am becoming. I can attest to the fact that I am more confident. I am more in love with myself. I am happier now. I am more peaceful. And these are things that honestly, I will say that they took me time. They really did take me time to get to this point, being where I am. And this comes to just something that I would like to add on, a fact that used to be with me in my 20s. I used to look forward to being in my 30s. Like during my 20s, because that's where all the actions was happening, the action of having kids, missing opportunities of not going to school. And by the way, if you've not read my book about my life on the Book Unbound, please DM me or comment down below. Maybe, who knows, I might just be in the mood to be generous because it's my birthday and I may gift it to somebody somewhere. So in that book, I talk about a lot of missed opportunities in my 20s, a lot of lessons, a lot of painful lessons that I had to learn in my 20s. Those things that happened to me in my 20s, they have taught me a lot in my 30s. And I can say that I looked forward to being in my 30s. I always felt like the desire that something good was about to happen when I hit my 30s. And the first 1 year, honestly, of my 30s, nothing new happened. It was still the same old things, being in toxic relationships, in and out, handling the chaos of my then life. But when I hit 31, that's when I decided, you know what? It's my life. I'm taking charge. And that is something that leads me to the next point, being a star and not a spectator of my life. This lesson came to me in a time where we are always taught, especially as women, that you need to build the man, support the man in his dreams. Just take a seat back, take care of your kids and the man in your life, because what is his is yours. I do not know about other parts of the world, but I do know in Kenya it doesn't work like that. And especially when you're in situationships or relationships that are not actually committed, when you're not married to this person, nothing like that happens. Most of the time, you as the woman you're the one who loses. You're the one who is losing your time, your years, building this person who will one day look at you and be like, we are not on the same level. Why? Because as you're busy building them, they were upgrading. And what were you doing? You were downgrading yourself. So how about taking now a front seat of your life? You're the driver. Nobody has the right to actually take over your life and say that you need to be in the back seat or in the backstage singing there, or be the what, I don't know what they call this other where there's the lead singer and there is the backup. Yeah, the backup. No, you're too precious to be in the background. Take charge of your life because you play a role. And the sad realization also was that these people, and this came to me very recently in the recent months, which I can say is another point. It's like life goes on with or without you. So imagine this, the scenario where I knew this lady, her life revolved around the job or the work that the company that they had built together with this man. And by the time this thing was happening, whereby she was passing on, she left her two lovely daughters who were now grown up, thank God. They were all done with high school. The other one was now in college or university. But what was sad about this lady was that she had put up with so much, including betrayal, cheating, whereby the guy would bring even these women to their workplace, but she would never miss a day to go to work, to their company where they were working together. She was always there. She was the one doing most of the work. She was a very hardworking lady. And whereby you would think that that is a good thing, the realization will come in after she was gone, because some woman somewhere was brought to take over this work. The money that she had been investing was actually given to this man. Her children, sadly, from the last time I checked, they had been pushed away by their father. They were living their life somewhere. And I thought, how sad can it be that this lady maybe had her own savings somewhere. She never took a day off work. She never even maybe took a flight one day to a nice destination and decided, you know what, I've been working for 10, 20 years. Let me take a breath. I have the money. I can enjoy myself. She never did any of this. She was just building this business. And then she's gone. And the people who were supposed to even be enjoying these results are nowhere to be seen. A total stranger out of nowhere just comes in and takes over everything. So I'm saying this especially as a woman. You, whether you're a woman, a mother, a woman, a sister, a wife, the first thing that should always come is that I will give the scenario of me is that I am Jacinta first of all. I'm Jacinta the girl, I'm Jacinta the woman. I am that first before I am a mother, before I am anybody's girlfriend, anybody's wife, anybody's sister, anybody's daughter. So I do not have to self-sacrifice what makes me happy. And I'm not saying that, actually, let me just say, being selfish is not a crime, or there is nothing wrong about being selfish. And most people who are called selfless are actually the ones who self-abandon themselves. They set themselves on fire just to give the warmth to other people who most of the time do not deserve it. And the sad thing is that the more you give, the more the takers take. It will never be enough. So how about prioritizing yourself? Because at the end of the day, life has to go on with or without you. And I say this even in the light of my mom passing. As you know, I did that video previously, some time back. Losing my mom also, that was a realization that came to me that life has to go on eventually. Imagine how much she had invested in seeing us as her kids have a good life. Imagine if she had sacrificed her life for us, only to move on to the next world and leave us here alone. We had to navigate and find our way around. I'm not saying be careless. I'm not saying don't care about your kids or your husbands or your parents, but I'm saying put yourself first, because if you don't, no one will ever put you first. So with these little pointers that I'm pointing out, of course, I have learned many other more lessons. And even before I forget, the main one, because I hear a lot of people ask me about them, friends. Friendship, the more you as the age goes higher, and this I have heard even from my older friends, the less friends you have. Why? Because this is the time where you value quality over quantity. It's not about hanging out with a bunch of friends. That is what I've come to learn, but having one or two meaningful friends who I know can be there for me, friends who I know love me and are there for me, like, and not just being there for me to dump in them, but actually meaningful friendships. And with these friends comes less drama. There comes less work. Like, you do not need to work to keep people in your life anymore. These friends will not be there for the benefits of just being there. They will not be selfish. They will not sabotage you. These are some of the lessons that I've taken from my 32 years. So, wherever you are, whether it's your birthday or not, what are some of the lessons that you have learned in the years that you are at so far? I would really love to know this. So, please feel free to comment down below, and don't forget, it's my birthday, so subscribe. That is the best gift that you can give me. And please like this video, share it, tell me something, whether it's here or in my DMs. Let me just get to hear from you and know that we are moving together as we are growing. Yeah. So until the next video, happy May, and do have yourself a lovely month of May. Bye bye.